my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, I'm Claus with GuitarMastery.net, and in this video I'm going to reveal to you the single most common thing that's holding people back, and it really is holding people back. Because what happens is, and I know every single friend I have who's been practicing guitar for years has fallen into this trap time and time again. And if you're not conscious of it, you can't do anything about it. So it's just a hidden venom, a disease, if you will, of the mind that's going to hold you back more than anything else. And it's not because it's hard to learn. It's none of these things that are very obvious to us. Let me explain. When you start developing, let's say you're practicing scales, right? And you learn that first position minor shape. And you become really good at it. And people start saying, hey, you're really good at soloing. And you become comfortable. And it's really, yeah, I like this. It's great. And you start to assume the identity of one who can play solos. And then it's kind of like you don't learn the other shapes as well, or you don't really spend as much time there. You keep going back to that first position blues scale shape, which is a cool shape, but it's like your new skill is actually holding you back. Or you're playing chords, right? You're learning these open string chords and in the beginning, and you start being really proficient, and you can play some really cool songs, and people start looking at you and say, hey, you're good at playing guitar, right? And it's like, that bar chord is just, and you keep shying away from it. You keep going back to those really cool, very comfortable chords that you know. So you never really go into the bar chords. And from the bar chords, if you know those, then you can't seem to learn those those chords you play where you have one finger per note. Because that's, it's like, and there's too many of those. We don't want to go there, right? So you keep going back to what you know. It's everywhere. It's with music theory. It's with rhythm. You keep going back to what you know already because it makes you feel comfortable. Because you don't want to feel like a beginner again. And that's what you do when you break out into something completely different. And playing one note per finger chords is something completely different than doing bar chords, which is basically just moving the E and A shape up, right? Most often, and then putting a big clamp on all the strings. Doing those sophisticated chords is something you don't want to go into because that's, right? And it's scales and it's everything. What's happening? Well, what's happening is you don't like to feel like a beginner again, and the new thing seems even harder than what you've just been conquering. But that's an illusion. The bar chords aren't that difficult. The 4-finger chords aren't that difficult. It's just new. That's the whole illusion. Or you're playing pentatonic scale, you're really good at it, and you never start using the minor scale and the major scale and the harmonic minor because you feel so comfortable with your pentatonics. But that new scale, that 3-note per string shape, or that tapping, or two-finger tapping up here, it's not more difficult. It's exactly the same, or even easier because you master something already. But the brain is going to tell you that, we don't want to go there. We want to stay in our comfort zone, which is what most people call it, our zone of comfort. But if you want to develop to the highest level, you have to push out of it all the time. It goes around you like a cushion, it's so comfortable. And then you have to break out of it into the uncomfortable all the time. You have to be struggling all the time, happily struggling, not frustrated, but you have to be struggling to learn something new, to break out of what you know already all the time. Why should I do that? Because that's what made you play guitar in the first place. That was the fun, right? You have to keep playing the game of getting better. Most people don't. They play the game, they win one of these little games, and then they get all comfortable holding the trophy above their head. Oh, he's a winner. He can play those chords, right? And they never move on. But that was the most fun, is trying to figure it out. How do I do it? Then becoming good, and then winning again, right? Expanding what you can do, expanding the joy of playing guitar. And most people stop and settle for that comfortable zone where you don't feel frustrated, where you're not struggling to learn something new. But that's life for you. That's how life is rigged. It has to be a struggle, right? But if you're playing in the game of life, right, on the playing field, it's not painful. You hurt your knee and you get bruised and you're panting. You can't, you try to catch your breath after running like the wind, like much faster than you can because you're running for the ball. But that's how it is when it's the most fun. But most people, they win and then they start just kicking the ball around. And then we're just kicking the ball around the rest of the time, enjoying our identity as the one who can play solos. And forget how fun it is to really be engaged and play the game of learning something new and growing and expanding what you can do on this instrument. So that's the trap. We fall into it. You have to wake yourself up all the time. Right? When's the last time I was really frustrated? That's the sure sign that you're not developing. When's the last time you were really frustrated about something on this instrument, right? When's the last time you really was pondering and trying to figure out why you couldn't learn something? When's the last time? Have you been dabbling for too long, playing what you're comfortable with? Or do you need to kick yourself in the rear and get started learning something new that you'll feel uncomfortable with? That's a key question to ask yourself constantly, because even though you know this, you're going to fall into this trap over and over and over again at each stage of your development. People who break out, they develop. People who don't, they get comfortable and they get complacent and they don't really have fun. They start getting bored with what they play, and then that becomes the problem, instead of the problem being that you can't develop fast enough. Okay, we got a new program out, I should mention, that is all based on those 3 stages of playing chords. We start with the open string chords, then we go to the bar chords, we might conquer those as well, but then we never get to those really cool chords where we can play every single chord in the universe. That's what we can do when we play one note per finger. We can play anything, certainly, and we're not limited by the bar or limited by the open strings. So I need you to go check that out and see if it's for you. And you can click the link below here. Also, go sign up for Ingenium, free alternate picking course. Really cool. A lot of happy people out there who's been trying that out. So you can click that as well. And go follow us on Instagram and sign up on our website, guitarmastery.net, for free daily jam tracks. See you in the next video. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.